live. Make sure we're good here. Sorry for the late start. Well, actually, we're still kind of early because we usually start around 5:30. But hold on. Oh, hard case. Yeah, yeah. The night bot is a little sensitive, so we got to fix that. But anyway, welcome everybody. We are live. Like I said, apologies for the late start. I actually wanted to start a little bit earlier, but if you saw the stream the other day, um, I did the rookie mistake of going through the different challenges and not saving the passwords. And then when we got to level 13, or was it level 12? Whatever level we got to, we got it wrong and we had to go back. And then I didn't have the code. So anyway, I actually before I went live, I actually made a file with all of the passwords. So you'll see that in a second. And then I think what we're gonna do is we'll probably do if I remember correctly, once we get to about 14 or 15, some of the levels start to get a little ridiculous. I fully recommend going through the entire Over the Wire Bandit challenges, but because we want to get to we want to get back on our training. I think we'll probably do maybe this last level that we were working on, and then maybe one more after that. Um, just because I know there's one level that's coming up that's going to be real stupid, and I don't want to get people lost in that one because that challenge does get to be a bit much with the zipping and unzipping and all of that. So shout out to everybody who is watching. We are streaming live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So shout out to everybody who is watching. I know we usually get a big crowd from the LinkedIn folks who seem to really be enjoying the ethical hacking stuff. We also got some folks, our regulars. Shout out if you are watching. Let's see, Eric. We have Hard Case here is one of my gamers, but we have Eric and a few others. Let me see. Yeah, Hard Case. I use Restream for multi-streaming. And I usually do it through OBS, but I've been lazy the last couple of days because I want to kind of get things done. So all right, so let's go ahead and log in to Kali Linux. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen so y'all can see. So remember, I didn't do this before. We were just kind of going through the different levels and just running through them, and I didn't save the password. So I went ahead and went back and did all the levels again, so we didn't have to do what we did on Tuesday, which was go back and do the levels all over again. If you want to catch up on what we've been doing with the Over the Wire Bandit, you could check out our last two streams. If you want to just follow up on everything that we've been doing with the Appsec Rabbit Hole, you can follow that whole playlist on YouTube. So I'm gonna put the link to the YouTube channel in the chat, so you can follow us there. But like I said, we are going to keep all of these together, so this way, if anybody is interested in following along, especially when we start getting into the ethical hacking stuff, you'll be able to. Hard case. This isn't a game. This is actually a computer that we're in right now. We're in a virtual environment right now, and we're doing a couple challenges. So we got the password for the last 11 challenges, right? And then I think we were doing the ROT 13 challenge. So we were trying to decipher the password. And if you look, I put this I was putting this in. Actually, let's go ahead and connect to it. So let's go ahead and we'll clear our screen, and then appreciate it. We will connect to Bandit 11, and then the password is the one that we got from. I believe this is the last level we did where we had to decode it using base 64. So we go here, we got into level 11 or level 12, because remember, 0 counts as a level. So you see here we have this data.txt. So if we go ahead and try to read data.txt, it gives us this information here. But remember, the hint in the Over the Wire website said that we need, let me see if I can bring that up here, Over the Wire. And if you aren't familiar with Over the Wire, you can go to overthewire.org. I'll put that in here as well. And we're doing Bandit. We'll probably do Natus when we start getting into the web hacking. But I'll put that here in the chat. So if you remember when we were doing the challenge the other day, let's see if we can switch our screens, go over here. So when we got to a level 11, it said the password for the next level stored in the data.txt, where the lowercase and uppercase letters have been rotated by 13 positions. So this is a cipher. So this is known as ROT13, where basically, if you go to Wikipedia, the idea of ROT13 is you take whatever letter you're looking for and you rotate it by 13. So A in ROT13, I believe A would be M, and then N would be Z. So that's how you would decipher ROT13. Now we're not going to sit, if we go back to our screen here, we'll stop sharing. If you go back to our screen over here in Kali Linux, we're not about to sit here and decipher. Let's see if we can make this a little bigger. We're not about to sit here and try to decipher all of this. So we're going to use ROT13 to decipher it. So what we did was we used this script. We used this command previously. So if we hit copy and paste. So now we did cat data. So we're asking to read the data, but we're asking to transfer it. And if you look here, we did lowercase a to Z, uppercase A to Z, and then N through Z and A through M. So what we were saying was basically translate anything from A to Z, knowing that N actually equals Z and A equals M for ROT13. And you see we got a password here, and it says the password is, and it gave us this, right? And I should have paid attention, because if you look, everything is written like a proper sentence. So all of this stuff here was in caps, and this was lowercase. So that tells me that my command is backwards. So after I looked at it, I saw that I did, oh crap, I did lowercase a to Z and uppercase A to Z instead of uppercase A to Z and then lowercase. So if we go ahead and put in the right one, and like I said, I'm just going to copy and paste it, so I don't have to type the whole thing. We'll paste this, and then we'll hit there. Now nope, that's the wrong one. I did it twice. Copy and paste the selection. Now you'll see it's in proper syntax. The password is 7x16. All right. So now if we take that, we're going to copy the right password now, and we're going to save it because we don't want to mess that up. And we'll go ahead and remove all of those. And now the way to see if we got it right is we will exit out. And now we will go to Bandit 12, or like I said, level 13. Like I said, I believe this is the challenge where I was like, but let me double check first before I say otherwise. So let's clear our screen. So if I hit ls, you'll see there's another file called data.txt. If we try to cat data.txt, you see it is in a whole, it's in hex. I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna I'm gonna behave myself and not. So because it's in hex, what we got to do is, well, I'm gonna read the challenge to you. I mean, if y'all want me to walk through this one, let's go ahead and do it. Why not, right? Why not? We'll do this one and then we'll check out Haiku. But it's just a pain. All right, so let's go ahead and find Over the Wire. So we're gonna share this screen. So you see the password for the next level is in the file data.txt, which is a hex dump of a file that has been repeatedly compressed. For this level, it may be useful to create a directory under the temp file, which you can work. Use a make directory with a hard to guess directory name, or better, use the make temp directory, then copy the data file using copy and rename it using move. Read the man pages. So what it's telling us to do here is we're going to have to, now let's switch back to our Kali Linux machine. So we're going to have to take the contents of this file. We're going to have to take this file and we're going to have to move it into a temp directory. Now, if you remember when we went through the Linux file system last week, we talked about the temp directory. The reason why a temp directory is important is because all information that gets put in that temp directory gets automatically erased, deleted, removed, whatever you want to call it, as soon as the computer shuts down. Now, why is that important? In this situation, for this challenge, we're probably going to have to compress and decompress and zip and unzip. So these files are going to start to get really big in size, right? And it's going to take up memory, especially if you're using a virtual machine. If you set up your virtual machine like I did, you probably have limited hard drive space. You don't want to use all that space up. So what you do is you put it in the temp directory. And then when you're done with the challenge, you can, if you forget, let's say you forget to delete it. Why are you doing that? If you forget to delete it, you can then once you shut everything down, it will erase for you. So I really don't want to do this. All right, so what we're going to do is let's cd into the /temp file. And then we're going to do exactly what Over the Wire said. Let's just read man mk temp. So you see what happens. Mk temp means you're going to create a temporary file or directory. Create a temporary file or directory safely and print its name. Template must contain at least 3 characters, blah, blah, blah. Right? So the -d command is we're going to create a directory, not a file. Right? If we do it by default, it's just going to try to create a file. So if we give it the -d, then it's going to know that we're creating a directory. Okay, so we want to do that, and then from there, once we make that, let's quit this. Let's quit. Okay, so we're in our temp directory. So we're going to make a file called mktemp. All right, so just let me know if you're doing this alongside with me. Just let me know if I'm moving too quickly, or if you want to review or whatever it is you want to do. Okay. Let me see here. Hold on, y'all. I'm just looking at something real quick. All right, so we're in here. So we're just going to type in mktemp -d, and it should create a temporary file, and a temporary full name is going to generate the name for us. So now that we have that, we can go back to our home directory where the data.txt file is, but I'm actually going to show you how to move something from another directory to your directory. So what we want to do is we want to move the file. Actually, what I want to do is, rather than move the file, I'm actually going to copy it. No, let's just move. No, I'll copy it just in case I mess up along the line. So we're going to copy, and then this tilde sign stands for home, like the home directory. And then we can type in data.txt because that was the directory where that file is located. And then we're just going to put in this one dot or period. And what we're saying is move data.txt, which is located in that home directory, and move it here. So that dot is your current location. Okay. So now when I hit enter, you'll see it just goes blank. If I hit ls, why can't I open the directory? Come on, ls-la. Why? What? Cannot open directory. Oh, crap. I made a mistake. All right. So we made our file. So now let's actually, I'm sorry, we need to move into CD. Well, I don't remember the name of the file now. Okay, let's do this again. All right. We're going to copy this, and now let's CD into. Can we chmod? We're not admin users, Eric. I don't think we can we? I should have checked to see what rights we had. All right. Well, like I said, we're in this folder now. So now let's just go ahead and copy data.txt. And now if we hit ls, there's our folder. Yeah, I don't think we can chmod in there. So, okay. So we have that. So we have our data.txt. So now we need to rename it. So we're just going to say move, even though we're not moving it, we're keeping it in this location. The move command can also allow you to rename it. So if we move data.txt, and then let's just call it sub for subscribe. Shameless plug. All right. So now when we hit ls, you'll see we have a file called sub. So if we cat sub, you'll see there's our hex dump. So what we're going to do now is we're going to run a tool, and I'm gonna actually type in the man page so you can see it. So let's clear our screen, and then we'll do man xxd. Oh, nope, I said MSN, not me. I am typing dumb today. Okay, so if you see here, why does this legit feel illegal? Hard case, because if you do this on a real system without permission, it can be. But this is a virtual environment, it's a training environment, and I give myself permission. So this is so just so you know, hard case, this is my day job, or this is one of my day jobs. I work in cybersecurity, and like I said, we do stuff like this. We do challenges or we do classes, but we also do simulated hacking, or I wouldn't call it a cyber attack. But all right, so XXD, you see here it says make a hex dump or do the reverse, and then the commands would go. So XXD creates a hex dump of a given file or standard input. It can also convert a hex dump back to its original binary form. Okay, so similar like UU encode or UU decode, it allows the transmission of binary data in a mail-safe ASCII representation, but has the advantage of decoding the standard output. Okay, so basically, like I said, we can take this and we're gonna convert it. Okay. Problem is like I said, I'm slowly remembering. This is slowly coming back to me, and it's not going to be a simple. It's not going to be like a one-time thing. right? And then here are the different flags. You can do auto skip. You can do B for bits. I think the one we're looking for is R, revert. So reverse operation, convert or patch hex dump into binary. Okay. So the command we're gonna end up running is gonna be xxr-r, and then we're gonna call it, and then we have to rename it again. So we called it sub, right? So we're gonna say xxr-r sub, and then we're going to call it compressed sub. Okay. What is wrong with me today? XXD. Okay. So now let's just clear our screen. We'll hit LS. So now you see we have two files, one called compressed sub and one is called sub. Sub was our original file that we moved over from our home directory, which was the data.txt, and then we named it sub, and now we called it compressed sub, just for the naming convention. All right, so now if I remember what we're supposed to do here, now we're going to have to keep decompressing this file, if I remember. So to do that, I think, like I said, what we have to do is first we have to look at the. Let's open up the file again, right? So we open up sub, and let's look at some of the binary code. So. Try to remember this here. In the end, especially in the half points, that is a hefty work and notorious, but pretty much guarantee themselves first stop. I think we have to run gunzip, right? I'm just looking at the information. I'm looking at the page again. Level 12. Yep. So we have to run gunzip or gzip, or we could run bunzip. All right. So let's do that. All right, cool. So we are going to. So we have our compressed here. And now we need to do, okay. Let's clear our screen, and then we're going to run, actually, let's just do this real quick so you just see so I'm not leaving anybody behind. So gzip, gunzip, or zcat, right? That allows you to compress or expand files. Okay. So the gzip command reduces the size of the name file using the lempel ziv coding. Whenever possible, each file is replaced by one with an extension of gz while keeping the same ownership modes, access, and modification name. So basically, like I said, all we're doing is we're gonna compress the file, and then I believe we're gonna have to decompress it. We're gonna have to reverse it. So we're basically gonna keep doing gzip and then xxd, gzip xxd until we're able to get to a readable format. All right. So we got that. So we're going to go ahead and do. Oh, and let's look at the flags real quick. So again, gzip is going to be for decompress. Okay. So we're gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a combination. We're gonna do gzip xxr or xxd. Okay. So like I said, we're gonna do gzip -d, and then we called it what was the file? Why aren't you compressed sub? Okay, so gzip -d compressed sub. Compressed sub unknown suffix ignored. No. No. Why aren't you? No, okay, hold on. Now what? Here, let's. Oh, I know what duh. We got to change. We got to change the file format. Move, compress sub, and we're gonna call it. Let's just call it compress GZ. Okay, now we should be able to do gzip decompress compress GZ. There we go. Okay, so now when we ls, we have compress and we have sub. And now if we went to do this again, let's go xxd compressed. We're still not there yet. So now you're going to have to rename the file again. So let's clear this screen. So we're going to rename with that, and we're going to call it compressed 2. And we're going to call and then do it GZ again. And then we are going to gzip again. Compressed to GZ is not in gzip format. But I just did do it in format. Let's go back. XXD compressed. Am I forgetting a step? Am I forgetting a step? Let's see. Did I do? What did I do? Move compress sub into. Oh boy, this is why I didn't want to do this one. Okay, let's try this again. Move sub into compressed. Right? We're gonna back up. We're gonna back up a step, and then we're going to move compressed. Actually, just to be on the safe side, we're gonna copy compressed, and we're gonna call it compressed dot gz, right? And now we're going to gzip -d compressed dot gz. Now why is that not working now? Okay, let's rm compressed Ah, crap. I hate this challenge. I officially hate this challenge. Just so you know, I officially hate this challenge. Okay. We're doing it over again. Oh, boy. All right. We need to. And I almost did XXR again. All right. So now we copied it over, and now we're going to move data and data.txt, and then we're going to call it sub. All right. So we're back here. Okay. So we move the file. Okay, now we already read the file, so we don't need to do that again. We're going to xxd-r, and then we're going to do sub, and then we're going to call it compressed, and then we're going to hit enter. If we hit ls, now we have compressed and sub. Okay, now if we cat compressed, you see it looks like that, and it no longer looks like the hex dump file. So if you remember before, it just looked like a bunch of alphanumeric letters. So now you can start to see it looks like something else. So now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and change compressed into compressed.gz. So now we hit enter, and now if we run gzip with the decompress command, the decompress flag, compress.gz, there you go. So now when we try to cat compressed, let's not cat it again. So we have our gzip. So now we have ls. So we still have our compressor. We still have our file, those files. Okay. So now if we cat, not sub, I want to cat compressed. I think that's what we did wrong. It's coming back now. So now when you see, trying to read, when we cat it, but if we run xxd compressed, and now it comes up here, 420, okay. So you see BZH9, okay. All right, it's coming back now. It's coming back now. So the BZ, and if you BZ, let's see if I can find it. Okay, so let's move over here. Yes, sir, thumbstick. All right, so we are going to switch screens. Go to our hex decoder. So if you look here, you'll see that in the beginning of our file, it said BZ, and then BZ equals 425A in bytes, right? Now, if you Google that, then that'll tell you that the BZ is a file signature for a bunzip or bzip. So that's what we were doing. That's what we were doing wrong. Okay. So I should say, I was trying to use. That's why when I tried to save it as a GZ file, or I tried to run the gunzip command, it said it doesn't recognize it as such. Okay, so now I have to use bzip, but I believe I don't believe that's in there. Or is okay. All right. And I just noticed that I didn't share the stuff over here. We're gonna quickly go through this challenge, and then I'm gonna showcase Haiku, and then we'll go from there. Thumbstick. I just wanted to I should have stuck to my guns and not did the challenge, but I knew this challenge was gonna. I hate level 13 on Bandit. Okay, so we do have bunzip 2. So what we need to do now? So we compressed the file, right? And then we need to actually change the file name again. So we are going to move compressed and call this compressed 2. And we're going to hit enter. And now if we hit ls, you'll see we no longer have compressed. We have compressed 2 and sub. So now what we need to do is we need to run the command bzip2 -d for decompress, and then we're going to call it compressed. Oh no, hold on, I forgot. We need to move compressed 2 and call it compressed 2 .bz2. There we go. So now we're going to run the command bzip2 -d compress 2, and now it went through. So we didn't get an error message this time. So we're moving in the right direction. Okay. So now if we xxd compressed 2 we come through that one. Now you'll see here it is still a mess. It's still not readable. It is still not readable. So now what we need to do is hold on. Okay, so let's clear ls. So now we have our compressed data. Now we're going to go ahead and move compressed 2 into compressed. Now remember, we did it as a BZ file. So now we need to go back to a gunzip file, right? And now we need to do gzip again, -d, compress 2. And now you see it went through again. So now we need to run xxd, compress 2. And it's getting better, but now it's a bunch of still a bunch of nonsense. So you see the beginning of the file, data5.bin 6461. Okay, so now this is telling me that we need to, and now it looks like the compressed file is zipped, right? I believe that's what's happening. So let's clear our screen. Now let's see ls. So now we're going to move compress 2, and then we're going to call it compress2.tar. We're going to hit enter. And now before we do that again, let's just check the manual page for what tar does. Tar is an archiving utility. And then as you can see, it says the man page is short on the description, so it doesn't give us too much. But tar is an archiving program that's designed to store multiple files in a single file, which is known as an archive, and manipulate the archives. The archive can be either a regular file. No, Wildegar. We're gonna get to file in a second, but before we can do that, we have to. We're gonna check file in a second. Basically, I'm looking through the hex code first, but we'll end up using file to figure out the file type. As a matter of fact, I think once we get to this next one, if I remember correctly. All right, so let's go ahead and quit this, and then we're gonna go. We named it tar except the tar, right? Okay, so now we need to do tar-xf compressed. Okay, so now if we hit ls, we have a file called data5bin. So now we can do file data5bin, and you see that's still a tar archive. Right, so now if we run tar-xf stop data, come on, data5 bin, and we hit ls, then you'll see we have data6. So now we can do file for data6. Now this one is a bzip file, so we have to compress. We're gonna have to decompress with do we have to decompress with bzip? Let's see. Bzip data6 bin. Bzip not found, but there are 20. Oh, because I have to do bzip too. Right. So now if we hit ls again, I didn't mean to do that. No such file and directory. I just made a mistake. Okay. So anyway, so now if we go back here, can't guess original name for data6 bin using data6bin.out. Okay, so it did unzip it with. Yeah, Yeah, you're not lying. You are not lying, sir. Okay, so now we have that. We have with the out file. Let's tar-xf data 6 heck dot bin dot out. So now the okay, data 6. So there's a 5, there's a 6, and now there's data 8. So if we file data 8.bin, it's another gzip file. It's compressed. It was data 9. All right. So now if we have to make this, actually, can I just do gzip -d data 8 bin? Can I do that? Data 8 bin, unknown suffix ignored. Okay, so we have to move data 8.bin to data 8.bin.gz, right? And now, okay, so we changed that. And now if we hit ls, data 9 should be, nope, it's not there yet. Okay, if we cat data 8.bin, we finally have our password. Okay, so that is why I did not want to do level 13. But as you can see, like I said, we basically had to change our file. We had to move into the directory. So again, this is why they said to move into the temp folder, so that as soon as we close out Kali Linux and turn it off and reboot it, it'll get rid of everything that's in that temp folder. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to call this, we're going to name this file OverTheWire.txt. We're going to save it to our desktop. Oh, crap. Did I not save it? Whatever. OTW.txt. Enter. Cool. All right. So now we have our document. So we can go ahead. And actually, what we're going to do is we're going to get out of there. And then we are going to rm-rf that TMP folder. So we'll get rid of all the contents in there. And actually, before we do that, it's going to tell us we have to get permission to do it. So we're going to run the sudo command so that user bin sudo must be UID set to bit set. Okay, well then fine, don't let me do it. Okay, we can do it that way. But now if we hit ls or whatever, we can't hit the directory, which is fine. We're just going to go ahead and reboot the machine anyway, just to be on the safe side. Sorry. Sudo reboot. Oh, geez, we're still in the we're still in the thing. That's why I can't do it. Jeez, come on, Davin, get it together. Sudo do so. Sudo reboot, and then we're going to type in our password, and we're out. So we'll stop our screen share. So basically, we are almost halfway through Over the Wire. But like I said, we have a lot of ground to cover. So I want to, if you're interested in continuing on, you can go ahead and do that. We'll probably come back to it, just because I don't like leaving things unfinished. But I do want to continue and get through the next thing I wanted to show you guys before we get back to our regularly scheduled program of Try Hack Me and then jumping into the Windows fundamentals. So we're going to start this program here while we're loading up. I want to say oh boy. Okay. Confused as to why this isn't working for me. I just reset. Okay. See. My gosh. All right. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to update. Telling me my password is wrong, but Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Try this one more time, and then if not, we'll just honestly go back to like if this thing isn't gonna like okay. Crazy. uh, sorry, y'all. Sorry about this. This is ridiculous. Um, it's not letting me log into any of my accounts. Okay, so for some reason that of all the ones that work, that one works. Okay, sorry y'all. So I apologize about that. All right, so we are going to move over here, and it's actually fine that we're in this one because now we can start from scratch. Oh, and this is actually the range, so this isn't even. This isn't even the right one. But anyway, I guess while we're talking, so this is Haiku. So what you're actually looking at right now is the pro range, and it has a bunch of different CTF missions and things that you can do within their own environment. It's an AWS environment. As you can see, there's like forensic challenges. This looks like a web app challenge. This is also a web app challenge. This goes into how to use Haiku Pro, another web app challenge. This goes into offensive security techniques, which is also falls under web application. There's network fundamentals, and then there's understanding and utilizing the EXIF tool. So there's a bunch of things you can do here. But what I really liked about Haiku is this Job Connect, which is under construction. But what it allowed you to do is you get to get these badges, so you could do these learning paths, and then you can earn these badges as you go through the game. And as you do that with your pro account, it's supposed to do things like update your LinkedIn profile and things like that, and then also kind of put you in contact with other people who are in this network. And what it does is it's supposed to help that way, help you get jobs, find roles, network, and things of that nature. So then there's the World of Haiku, which is the game that they have, which is what I was looking to log into, but it's not letting me do that. I don't know why it's not letting me do that. There we go. All right, cool. Now we're over here. All right, so I did log in. So anyway, what I wanted to do was show you the first couple levels of Haiku. So we can start. You could do beginner, intermediate, or expert. We'll start at beginner, and then you can do the story, or you can choose to explore. Let's go ahead and go through with the story. We'll move this to full screen so you can see what's going on here. And I believe we should have the high. We did a playthrough of this before, so you can actually check out our previous videos that we did last year when we did a playthrough of World of Haiku. But anyway, if you look here, it starts off as a mission, right? Or it starts off with a story. So it says, "Look, don't freak out. I'm Gunnier, the head honcho of the Cybermancers." Right now, you can just you can click next, or you can hit Control Space. And it says, "You and I met many moons ago when you were still too young to remember. It's come to the attention that the terrorist group known as Agenda 21 has taken an interest about your whereabouts, and I'm here to intervene." So again, there's a whole story about this, right? It's story driven. I'm gonna kind of run through this a little bit. If you're interested about it, you can let me know, and I can give you the information. But right, so then it says the go. So basically, they're saying that they had to come find you before the terrorist group finds you. Okay, so now it says you have to. It says there was some information. And what kind of random security breaches can I find and fend off today? Right. Just trying to see. So now it asks you to do your crash course on Linux. And it'll say this will engage the opposition utilizing the same skills as the hackers in the 20th century. So the thing with Haiku is this is supposed to take place in a cyberpunk like future. Okay, so now they're saying you can use the skills that were used in the 20th century. So now we're learning. They're going to see if we can do a crash course in old school Linux skills. Okay, so again, we're just going to jump right in, and it's telling you again. This is known as a command line interface or a terminal, like we talked about before. And then it said every command will be case sensitive. So again, it's going to ask us to type in the command. So we're going to do pwd. You see, you get a goal complete. And the pwd, remember, is print working directory. So again, this is just teaching us how to navigate Linux, right? If we wanted to change direct into the application directory, we would do cd applications. And then if we want to see everything in there, we would just run ls. And then if we wanted to back out of it, cd ... And says, now you know how to move around. Don't forget, it's always, where am I? What's here? Where can I go? So again, it's just showing you the basics of Linux, but they're doing it in a game, in a game-like environment. Try it, okay. Okay, so, and then if we need to do pwd, you see we're in the documents, and then if you want to see ls, you can see the personal data. Looks like you have a file in your documents, and then it's going to probably tell us to read it with the cat command, right? So we can do cat personal data, and then, so again, like I said, I'm not to. Oh, okay, thumbstick. Yeah. We're just showcasing this tool that we finally got through level 13 of the other of Over the Wire. But now I just wanted to show this game real quick, but it took me forever to log in. Okay, so now you'll see here's the manual. So if you basically what's happening here is, like, if you wanted to use the graphical user interface like we talked about before, and then here's the manual on all the different tools. Again, like I mentioned before, we're going to try to do everything in the terminal because we're going to try to simulate real world Linux and command line interface tools. So along the way, you'll be awarded badges to show off your proficiency and progress. So again, like I said, so this is a really cool, this is a cool game. Like I said, obviously it's not, graphics intensive and nothing like that, but it is a cool game to learn about Linux, learn some skills, and then when you get the pro version, you can actually use it to upskill, learn new things, and even possibly use this to kind of help you network and land rules, entry level rules, I should say. Okay, so it says you have now navigated the grid. Okay, so you can go talk to Rascal. So again, like I said, we've done these before. If you want us to do another playthrough, we can. Maybe as we kind of move on down. But like I said, we got a lot to cover, so I don't want to hold up. I don't want to use too much time for it. Okay. So now basically we're just going to kind of use the things that we've learned to do this quick mission. All right. So as you can see, we SSH. Remember, we've been doing that. So we SSH in there. They used the password, which was Yellowtail. The authentication was successful. So now we're in. And now if we want to see, this is a new command. I don't think we've ever done that one in our Linux stuff before. But if we run who am I, you can see the user that you're signed into. You're signed in as. So that's also important when you get access into your Linux machines. If you're doing a pen test, you can see what user and what level of access they have. Remember what I said before, the dead giveaway is the $ versus the hashtag or the pound sign or the tic-tac-toe symbol. $ is usually indicates you're a regular user. The hashtag or the pound symbol or the tic-tac-toe usually indicates you're like an admin level or root user. Okay, so you need to navigate through the workstation and find 5 items: the owner of the G Corp domain, the owner's email address, the website server address, the date where the website was registered, the organization that owns the website. Okay, so you're going to enter file, you're going to encounter file and directory names with spaces. When that happens, you'll need to put them in quotations. So remember what we were talking about before in that other challenge where it was like file with spaces or whatever, that, and you have to put them in quotation marks. So this is the same similar training. Okay, so now it says we need to let's hit LS, and now it wants us to CD into the documents folder, right? So we'll just do documents, and if we hit LS, you'll see here we can now read a bunch of files, right? So if we cat, let's see what they're asking us to do. Cat house talks. You see, we're good there. Now we'll just hit LS again. Let's cat the workout log. And remember, everything is case sensitive. So if you see a capital letter in the first letter of the file, then make sure you use a capital. Okay. So that's the workout log. Let's just go ahead and clear the screen. We'll hit LS again. If you don't know by now, I hate a lot of stuff on my screen. Okay, so there's a diary log. Criminal gang activity has been everywhere. So now again, when we did the first playthrough, you'll see like we actually, we went through and started looking through all of that, because looking at all the notes and stuff, because you start to hear about the, read about the different characters or whatever they got going on, right? And also it helps you as you progress through the game to understand who's who, what level of access do they have, what their motivations are. Later on in the game, you start to see different things. I guess some of like the internal strife of your adversary group. So all of that is important information to know as you progress through the game. Okay, so all right. Okay, so it says sweet. Okay, great. So you can use that to find the owner of the group. Fantastic. Now let's get out of the documents folder, and now let's move into the downloads folder. Let's learn how to spell. Hit LS. There's a banana bread recipe, which we don't really care for. We don't really need. But there's also the invoice for the domain registration, which they said we needed that information. Right. And if you're still here, hard case, like when we're doing these assessments or when we get into a machine, this is exactly what we're doing. Like we're navigating the file directories and looking for information that we can use. This is where if you don't have permission, you can get in trouble. All right, so we don't see anything there. Did I miss anything in the downloads folder? No. There was nothing in the trash folder, right? Let's go back to documents. House task, contacts. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now there was nothing else in there. Okay, so now we moved into another computer. First thing we do is we check to see the username. So we're B Hampton. Again, we kind of already know that, so we're kind of moving ahead, but we'll just whatever. Okay, let's clear our screen because I hate a lot of stuff on my screen. And then again, let's go into our documents folder. And now let's start with the monthly budget. Okay, so that's nothing of interest. So let's clear that, and then let's cat this file. Again, everyone's part of the neural computer interface. This sounds like something that's out of a, actually it's not even out of anything because they're doing neural links now. All right, so we did everything in the documents folder. So let's back out of it, clear our screen because I hate a lot of stuff on my screen. And now let's CD into our downloads folder. And now you can see there's stuff about server details and report titles. So let's just start with that one. So this was, so as you can see, we're in 2049. But this is looks like a draft document. So again, nothing useful, right? But if we cat server details, now we have more information. We have our domain, we have the host name, we have the server IP address, we have the status. So this, again, this is all information that we can use. And now we moved over here with the other user. Now remember, we're going off of that user list that we had earlier. But if we just do PWD, you see we are in the home drive. And if we type in who am I, we are Ella M. Johnson. I'm gonna clear the screen because I hate looking at everything on my screen. We're gonna hit LS. Same thing. We're gonna CD into our documents folder. We're gonna read this declaration of ownership. And this document basically says Ella Johnson's having legal procuration of the G Corp subsidiaries hereby state the following statement is true. G Corp domain is wholly owned by G Corp subsidiaries with all rights and legal responsibilities included. And then here's the signature and the date. Okay. So we have that information. All right. So let's go ahead and there's nothing else in there. So we can get out of there. And now let's go into our downloads folder. There's a diary. There's a diary entry. Oh, it's a directory. My fault. I wasn't paying attention. Now we're into my diary entry, and you can see we can read all the diary entries. And remember, if you just type in the, if you start typing and then you type, you hit the tab button, you get the autocomplete tab. So we'll do June 7th. July 28th. And so on and so forth. But like I said, I don't think there was anything in the diary stuff, but we're in the diary entries. So we can now back out of it. Let's clear the screen. But there's also saved emails. So let's move into the saved emails folder. And now we can move into the inbox. And then there's our domain transfer information. Okay, so the domain's euro7.gov. So that means it's a government domain. So you can modify your domain. Okay, cool. So we have that information. I believe we should have all the stuff we need. Yep. So now there's a mission update. It says I have a few more tasks for you. There's chatter on the grid about something called the Zion key. So try to find data on that. Also, G Corp is working on a tech called File Explorer Activator. See if you can find information on that project. So again, like I said, so as you progress through, I wonder if she gave you access to the Go server. Okay, IP address, sure. Okay, so basically, as you progress through, like I said, you'll get essentially like side missions and stuff like that as well. Okay, so we're the sorceress user. We can clear our screen. So if we CD into our documents and hit LS, we can CD into the intercepted emails. And now we can, let's start with acquiring source. Okay, so Nix is unreliable. One moment the task is being completed. Next thing, we have 3 people dead because they looked at it. Okay, so again, this is just more banter. cat re dash a deal with dealer. So this all, like I said, this is all basically information or different messages, right? But we have information here: an IP address for Agenda 21, dealer web domain, both look important, promising money trail 192.168.1.96. Okay, says what else can you find? Okay, so we finished everything here, so let's get out of there. There's nothing else in the document, so let's get out of there. Let's clear our screen, hit LS. Let's move into the systems folder and move into the applications folder. And there's our file explorer activator. So, I mean, if you see here's like that, when I'm telling you, as you get used to using Linux, like it, to me, I move faster just doing that than I do having to go and navigate through it, right? So basically what they're showing you now is this opened up a file explorer, and now, but if you look down here, we're in the same directory as the file explorer. So what we're doing, we're just doing the command line equivalent of what you would do using the graphical user interface. Right, so moving into File Explorer stuff is the same thing as using the change directory command, right? And if we need to move up a directory, it's the same thing as doing the cd ... command, right? Move up again, and now they're saying just kind of go ahead and go into the documents, and then here was that intercepted emails that we were looking at before. Try double clicking acquiring source email. So again, this is all the same information that we just kind of read. Now again, like I said, as you move through the game, it'll tell you can use the file explorer, but I'm just, like I said, let's just stick to the command prompt, because again, you're not going to have that luxury in a real world situation. Unless you're, like I said, unless you're on like a Windows desktop or like an Ubuntu desktop. But even then, if you're on a pen test, you're not seeing that unless you set up like a remote desktop connection. So basically, what we found the file, and you can actually see it if we hit. Oh, we got badges. Okay, if you hit LS. No, I don't want to complete the mission yet. Well done. Blah blah blah. Okay. All right. I guess they're telling us we completed the mission, but we found the files that we were looking for. So what they were saying was, based on the files that we found, that there's going to be massive cyber attacks and that we should probably stop them. So now this was the first level. Remember, they were looking for me, or looking for the player, because they were told to find them. And now essentially you've just been initiated into the group. So now when you go ahead, now you see the next step is to infiltrate the dealer's network. So like I said, so there's different missions in every level, and every level you're learning more Linux skills. So it's, like I said, it's a really cool game. If you want to see the walkthrough, like I said, just check out the Alpha Cybersecurity YouTube channel. Actually, I think we did it on Alpha Esports and the Alpha Esports and Technology YouTube channel. Let me double check that for you. But basically, we're done here, and then we could just hit the map, And then, like I said, so as you see, as we progress through, and this is actually volume 2, but as we progress through the story, let's go down. As you progress through the story, there's different networks you have to get into, and obviously you can't get into one without doing each of the missions. But then volume 2, because like I said, this is where I was. There's some side missions here, and there's a couple things here, and it looks like they're still developing a lot of the stuff for volume 2. But like I said, I think it's really cool that they did this. It's really entertaining. You find yourself getting into the game and like trying to navigate through it and figure it all out. There's going to be times where there's going to be missions where you're up against the clock and you have to essentially um, save the world because because again those viruses that they were looking to install are like catastrophic. Oh, would you look at that? It just took a few minutes, I guess, for it to register. Hold on. Let me share this screen again real quick. All right, so here we're in my account. Oh, we're back in my fault. We're back in. I want to do. Okay, let's share this tab. So yeah, like I said, so we did the walkthrough before. I'm just gonna bring up YouTube, Alpha Esports and Technology. Yep. So if you look here, I'll actually put the link. I'll share the playlist. So if you want to see the walkthrough, how we went through the game, you can check that out there. Um, but as you can see, like I said, we did all the missions. We didn't do the side missions because I think I wanted to see what was going to happen with Volume 2. So like I said, Volume 2 never hasn't come out yet. But if you look here, there's a couple tabs that they have. Like I said, Intro to Cybersecurity. So again, these are navigating the command line, network and system monitoring tools. Like these are all lessons and stuff that you learn, and you actually learn them through the game. Now, if you didn't want to do the missions or didn't want to go through the story, then that's where you can just do that intro to cybersecurity. But I just wanted to show you like the icons for the mission, right? So hit continue again. So you see the icons here. Those are the badges that you get um, as you progress through the game. But like I said, when you move to intro to cybersecurity, it's showing you that these are where you're learning these lessons, right? And then there's some dojos. So these intro to file, web connectivity, what's this? Advanced network scanning. Those are extra lessons if you wanted to do those. Then you can move into the premium content. And now here's where you're learning things on what they have called the Forge. And the Forge is actually like their cyber playground. you can take on other people's challenges that people have created. So you can see Haiku created a lot of these here, but then there's also some that were created by members of the community. I really like the Forge. Like I said, I'm hoping that I'll be able to kind of create my own challenges in the Forge at some point, so that when we do our cybersecurity stuff, you guys will be able to follow along and play in the Forge as well. Here's the Forge. Essentially, the Forge it looks just like um, what we were the environment we were playing in, but like I said, it allows you to build environments, right? So like I said, we do this like this pen test environment that I was starting to work on. The idea for this one was there was a firewall, so we would need to get into the firewall to get to the gateway or the router, and then access the systems, right? So each system would have different files or different programs or things that we could either use to gather information or find a vulnerability that we could then exploit. Right. So this was the start of it. I never finished it because we kind of ran into some issues, and then uh, never got a chance to actually finish it. But once we start doing our cybersecurity trainings, like I said, I would like to be able to publish, which you can see right here, and add that for my students. And then lastly, there's a security awareness from 2023. There was some training and stuff there. A lot of the stuff in Haiku is aligned with the NICE framework, so the National Institute of Cybersecurity Education. So again, the idea is to play the game, learn the skills, and hopefully, um, you know, gain an interest to develop a career. So that's it for so that's pretty much Haiku in a nutshell. I said there's so many different things here that you can do, um lessons you can learn, right? Secure passwords and MFAs. I'll just kind of quickly go into that for just to kind of show you. And again, these are all, like I said, these are all just stories, right? So you'll notice the background is mapping our current network connections. The workstation with the diamond is your workstation, which you are currently logged into. Okay. As we travel through the grid, you'll notice more devices appearing as you discover them. Okay. Now on to here. I'll let Mina explain. She's the one who first brought this to my attention. So again, like I said, so these are just quick missions. I don't want to jump ahead, but like I said, we're not gonna do the missions, but I just want to kind of show you what we have. Okay. Um, hmm. So anyway, the word on the grid is employees willing to be an insider threat. So again, these are all lessons that are real world scenarios, but they're using the story. So obviously insider threat, but they're not looking to be cyber terrorists, at least not yet, because I mean that cyber terrorists are a thing. Um, but like I said, these are just cool things that you can do to learn. So like I said, learn some skills, play along with the story. They have a Discord community, so you could also, talk to the people there if you get stuck on anything. But but yeah, that's pretty much Haiku in a nutshell. Um, I think we're done with that. So now I'm thinking, do we want to? I don't want to take on anything because, like I said, we don't have much time left. Like I said, we've been going now for almost 2 hours. I don't want to start another. I don't want to start something that we're gonna have to stop in midway. Um, but I will say this though, for those who are interested in what we've been doing with TryHackMe actually just launched a certification. So this is a security analyst level 1 certification. They developed it with Accenture and Salesforce. So again, learning real world skills that can get you noticed and get you networking opportunities and even job opportunities. Like I said, Accenture and Salesforce are two big companies that hire a lot of people or do a lot of internships that lead to um, really good paying roles. They have a lot of opportunities for entry level as well. I know people talk about entry level cybersecurity roles are hard to come by. There's a lot of opportunities. I know, especially with Accenture, because a lot of my students from my last class ended up interning and then eventually getting roles at Accenture. So basically, what they do here is you have a written you have like a multiple choice exam, and then you have a simulated SOC environment where you have to do hands on stuff. And I think this is honestly the best way to get certified, right? You have a lot of certifications out there that are, I mean, a lot of certificate. Well, not even actually. I'm not even gonna say that anymore because a lot of certifications now have switched to this model. But in years past, you could just study very well. You could study for the exam, and it was multiple choice. So you already knew that, you know, you if you studied, you could pass. There were a lot of people who were passing just because they studied or they were getting the exam dumps and allowing them to pass the exams, but they weren't really learning anything. Or you had people who would get the certifications but not know what to do with it because they didn't have any hands-on knowledge. So you have what you would call these paper tigers, right? These certain because they would just be they'd certified on paper, but if you put them in front of a keyboard or a terminal and said, "Okay, go," they're not going to be able to do that, right? And a lot of jobs, especially um, in cybersecurity, there's a hands-on element to it, especially um, in the interview phase, right? I remember I interviewed for an airline company years ago, and we spent the first 30 minutes talking, and and shortly after we did that, and I guess they liked my answers, um they put me in a room, and inside the room there was a here, I'll put that here like this so you can see a little bit. So they put me in a room, and then inside the room it was one computer, and the computer had a command line terminal, like a Linux command line terminal. And they sat me down and they said, get root on the machine and deface the website. And I was like, oh, okay. So I had to sit down and basically go through the process of gathering my information, doing my reconnaissance, doing my scanning, finding the vulnerability, finding the exploit, and then finding where the web server was, and manipulating the HTML to say, I forgot what I put in there. But basically, like, that was my interview. So it was like 30 minutes of, tell us about yourself, tell us about your background, why you think you're a good fit for this job, what experiences do you have and stuff like that. And then, like I said, They both approved that I could move on to the next step, and they were like, okay, but before you do that, let's go over here. And like I said, I went into this other room and they sat me down and they were like, go. um, so you'll have situations like that, or you'll have technical interviews where they're giving you scenarios and you have to answer those questions. So again, you have to have the knowledge. You have to know, right? Like they're not going to ask you some simple question like, what's encryption, or they're not going to ask you something that you would get on a test. They're going to ask you, like, they're going to give you a scenario like, oh, okay, so you're on a pen test and you found this vulnerability, however there's also this service running. What would you do in this scenario and why? Right, so you have to have that hands-on knowledge. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've been doing this for a while, and I still stumble. Like I interviewed for something the other day and bombed it, like completely bombed it. And it's just because, again, I don't interview well, I guess, or in those situations, or I guess at my old age, like I don't test well, and the nerves and all of that. I mean, and the crazy part is I knew the answer to the question, but it just took me forever to answer it. So I won't say that I bombed the interview because, like I said, I answered the questions, but it definitely wasn't like quick. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to play it out in my head, and again, they don't want you typing anything. There is no going to Chat GPT to get the answer. Like you have to figure it out. So I'm literally like closing my eyes and like picturing the scenario in my head. Like I'm envisioning using Burp Suite and seeing what's showing up in there. And so yeah, it can get rough. Let me see what they have for Windows fundamentals. Yeah, no, we can probably. I mean, yeah, we could probably wait to get through it. I mean, it's not nothing crazy, but I got a couple things coming up. It's 6:19. I want to get ready for my 7 o'clock. So I think I'm gonna probably call it here. But like I said, we went through. So we're at what, level 13 level? We're on level 14 now of the. We're on level 14 of Over the Wire. We went through. We did a quick showcase of Haiku. Like I said, I didn't. Like I said, I don't want to do the walkthrough again, or I didn't want to do the whole playthrough because again, we gotta get moving. It's no rush. It's not like we have a deadline, but I want to kind of get through it. So I just noticed there's something in here that shouldn't be in here. But yeah, like I said, the whole playlist for hacking with Haiku is on my on our YouTube channel, so you can walk through there. Like I said, if you're interested in, and I'll just show you. If you're interested in getting a license for Haiku, you can hit us up, and we can definitely facilitate that for you. Um, or like I said, just let me know if you want us to do another playthrough. When we're done with the rabbit hole, we can do that. But I really want to get through these courses. Like I said, I want to finish the fundamentals, and I want to jump into web app and pen testing. So uh, that's why I'm kind of trying to put a rush on it. But like I said, I also don't want to just rush through it and like and people aren't able to keep up, or if you have any questions. So like I said, after we do that, we do still have Windows command line stuff, We got some networking concepts. So yeah, I mean, we got some stuff. We got some stuff. So so yeah, like I said, I don't want to jump into that now. So we will get into that Monday. For those who follow along with our other things we got going on, we do have our Fortnite esports match tomorrow at 4:30. Hopefully, I'll be able to stream that like I streamed the match that we had on Saturday. Um, Good job again to my team there. They had a good showing. Especially since we had to join the league one game behind everybody. We're still in the top 20, and there's some, I forgot the number of teams, but like I said, we're definitely on the right path, and I definitely think in the next one we have the next event on March 8th. I think both teams will be top 10. I think one of my teams will probably be even top 3. So we're moving. Like I said, in the meantime, our squads league, we still remain undefeated. So we have not lost since the preseason. We lose one match in the preseason, and then we usually run the table. Knock on wood. We did have, like I said, we did have a hiccup last season in the playoffs or in the championships, but come to find out they cheated. So hey, we got it. But yeah, we have another match tomorrow. So if my players are watching, make sure y'all get ready and and y'all know the game plan. Saturday we'll be doing Overwatch at 11 from 11 to 1. And then we'll see what's going on in the afternoon. And then we'll be back Monday with Windows fundamentals. Still not sure about Tuesday yet, but we'll be back Monday, and we'll definitely be back Monday, and we'll definitely be back Thursday. All right. So I know I owe y'all some Minecraft streams, and I owe y'all some to get back to some Rainbow Six stuff, and I owe y'all some Marvel Rivals. So hold me accountable. But like I said, we got a lot going on. So I'm gonna log off now. We're just under 2 hours. Y'all go ahead and be safe. If I don't see y'all tomorrow or Saturday, y'all have a great weekend, and I will see y'all back here on Monday. All right. Peace out. Be safe and have a good night.